Greetings, hopefully you've woken up after watching the last video. So that was part 1 and this is part 2, which means it's cabinet 2. So we got a red shelf there. I've taken the trays off that red shelf. I've got them on the bed. We'll go through those. So a couple of empty shelves there where the red trays should be. These red trays that have taken off are all territories coins, so Isle of Man, Gibraltar, etc, etc. But below that we've got a tray of strike your own coins, and then we continue on with the silver proof UK coins, and then down at the bottom we've got 2 boxes from the Royal Mint which are massive, which I'll go through at the end of this video. And you see my little mate down there, he's looking very happy with himself. He's been collecting coins a while. A couple of letters there as well. But back to the 50p red trays, bear with me and we'll get stuck into those and we'll see what you think of those. Okay, so we saw a couple of Christmas coins from the UK, but this tray that we're going to straight away is the Isle of Man. And the Isle of Man have been releasing Christmas 50p's from 1980 onwards. I think there's a couple of years that they've missed. But this, what I'm going to show you, this tray is a full date run of 50p's. Now, whereas the UK coins, they tend to just make one version. With the Isle of Man coins, which are struck by the Popjoy Mint, you have different die marks on the coins. So any of you folks that have watched my videos before, you'll know all about die marks. I won't bore you to death with die marks in this video, but I haven't collected every die mark of each coin for the Christmas coins. So although this is a full date run, there could be quite a lot more coins to go if I start collecting the different die marks. So if we start up in the top left hand corner, the first coin that was released was back in 1980, and that one shows a stagecoach. And if you look carefully in the back there, you can see a clipper type ship with paddle wheels on it. And then it goes on, and every year they released a different coin. These are the large size coins. There's the Model T Ford 50p. I'm not sure how some of these have a relation to Christmas, but that's the way they did it. Train in this one, you got the de Havilland airplane in that one, you got the Manx tram in that one, and there you have the bus. I can't remember what the exact name for that one is. And there you have a guy on his bike and sidecar. You have another tram, steamship, a whale with looks like the 3 wise men, and it's the baby Jesus in the manger, isn't it, that one? There you have another one with a man holding out a newspaper. Nice looking coin there again, with looks like the 3 wise men in the manger with the baby Jesus. And there we have another one, and it keeps going on. Every year there was a different one, and these 50p's are really collectible. I think a lot of people collect the Christmas 50p's from the Isle of Man. So you'll see the one on the left hand side there is the large size, and then 1997 we dropped down to the smaller size, the 27.3mm 50p that we're all familiar with now. And the date run continues. This is one of the more expensive date runs. You would realistically need to be prepared to spend somewhere in the region of £2,000 to get this whole collection. It goes on, and we get to this coin here, which is the 2003 James and the Snowman coin. I did say I wasn't going to die marks, but just to the right of the 0 in 50, you can see there's a BB die mark on that. That means it's a diamond proof finish coin, so that's the equivalent of the Royal Mint proof finish. But that 2003 coin, probably somewhere in the region of £300. A lot of these coins will be anywhere from £20 up to £50 up to £100 each. This coin we're looking at here is the start of the 12 days of Christmas. So this was a run of coins that the the Pubjoy mint we're going to do for the Isle of Man, just like the Christmas hymn goes, the 12 days of Christmas. You got a partridge in a pear tree, and then beside that you got 2 French hens, or 3 French hens. I don't know exactly the way that verse goes. I'm never really one for singing it. But basically they were going to do 12 of these, and then they changed their mind and only did 6. That one I think is 3 geese a laying. This is probably the most expensive 50p in my collection. This 50p doesn't have a die mark on it. It's a copy of the 2003 50p. This one has a value of, well, anywhere between £600 and £900. I think one of these sold today on eBay for around £630. So that is a real key coin in the collection. And if you do get a chance, look that one up on eBay, the 2008 Isle of Man Snowman coin. And I think you'll be quite surprised what they sell for. You got the 5 gold rings, 4, 5 something or other there, 5 birds again, not sure exactly. And then you got a Christmas Santa there, you got an angel, and you got the stockings coin. And then the last 2 that were released was this Christmas one, and then in 2016 this was the final Christmas 50p that was released by the Isle of Man. So nice coin that as well. So that's the first set of coins we have a look at, which is a full date run of the Isle of Man Christmas 50p coins. Let's have a look at the next run of coins. So the next run of coins is from the Isle of Man as well, and this set of coins is known as the Viking coins. So these 50p's all have Viking ships on them, and with these ones I've been collecting the various die marks as well. So it starts off up in 1971. In fact, bear with me because that's the wrong tray. That's not the first tray. This is the first tray here. Sorry, apologies for that. So 1971, a standard circulation coin, although this one actually came out of a set, so it's never been in circulation, but technically a circulating coin. And then beside that, a slightly rarer 1971 proof coin with a really nice finish to it. I have to put little tags in the back of these so I remember what each coin is and what coin in the collection I still need to get. And then these next 3 coins, 72, 73 and 74, are some of the rarest coins. So there was only 1,000 each of these made, and they were struck in 1975. So this is because in 1971 the Royal Mint struck these coins, and then in 1971 the mint transferred over to the Pubjoy Mint, and I think the Pubjoy Mint were quite busy at the time, so they didn't strike these coins straight away. These were also designed by Christopher Ironside, which is quite interesting. But in 1975 they struck 1,000 of each of the 72, 73 and 74 coins. They basically put them into the bags which the bank would have on the Isle of Man, and all the local collectors bought all the bags, went through and took out 1,000 of each of these coins, which was all the mintage of them. So these coins are particularly hard to come by, and realistically I think you can pay £300 to £500 for each one of those coins. So on a good day you would have maybe £1,000 worth there. On a bad day, maybe 750. On a very good day, you might even get up to £1,300–1,400 for those 3 coins. And then the date run continues on with 1975. Some of these coins are silver proof, so this is a nice coin as well. And then it goes on, and every year they released a Viking coin. So this one is a mint damage one from 1976, so you can just see where it has damage on it. I have that in the collection because I do like an error coin as well. Really nice. Doesn't have the same eye appeal as the silver proof coins. Or well, that's a circulated one, sorry, but it's come out of a bank set. This is the silver proof one here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, silver proof. And you heard me talk about the die marks. Some of these don't have a die mark, some of them do, so it all gets rather confusing. And you do need to have a book to keep you right if you're ever going to try and collect these coins. But the collection goes through each year, and then in 1979 the Royal Mint went a little bit mad with their 50p's, and they released these Viking ship coins in multiple different guises. So the main difference being the first one in 1979 had this little privy mark on it, and that's privy mark with the AA die mark. And then you have the privy mark on this one as well, but this is an AB die mark. And then you have the same coin. This one is a silver proof coin, so it doesn't have a die mark. It does have the privy mark on it, and when I say privy mark, it's this little triskelion here, so the stylized symbol of man, the three legs. And then they brought out this coin, which is slightly different design to the previous one, which has the map of the Isle of Man behind the Viking longboat. This one has a different kind of longboat on it, and it doesn't have the map, and that's a 1979 AA coin. You have the AB coin, and then you have the AC coin, AC die mark, which I'm missing from the collection. And then it gets even more complicated, because then they released, that's a D die mark, so D was used for silver coins, and E and F were also used for silver coins. And then in 1979 on these coins they started putting an edge inscription on them as well, so that further made the, well, further magnified how many coins you need to get the whole collection. And these coins, that's a 1979 silver coin with the F die mark on it. And just to show you where the die mark hides on these coins, it's right in there at the prow of the ship on the little wave, and that is a F die mark there, and it's quite hard to see, but it's done in the old sort of Norse writing as well. So these coins are quite valuable, they're quite expensive, and yeah, you have to have pretty deep pockets and be committed if you're going to do a date run of these coins. So then it starts off, and this coin is a 1979 AA coin, and it has an inscription around the edge. So if I just pop this out just to show you what I mean. So this one says the Royal Visit, Isle of Man, or Her Majesty's Royal Visit, Isle of Man, July 1979. There are many different versions of these, because the writing, you have the AA die mark, the AB die mark, and then the writing can be the correct way up, or the writing can be upside down. So you've probably seen this on the £2 coins, where they describe them as, you know, error coin because the writing's upside down. Nothing to do with being an error, it's just the way they're put into the machine and struck. But the collection goes on. For instance, that looks like a silver proof coin there. It's nice and shiny. That's a 1979 inscribed coin, so that's got the edge inscription with a D die mark and silver. Very nice. And beside that then we have the same coin again, but this has the E die mark on it, and the writing on this one is the proper way up. And when you read the writing, this is the Queen's Head side, the obverse. So if the writing is the correct way up when you read it in relation to the Queen's Head, then it's verted, and if it's upside down it's called inverted. Again, as I said, you really need, if you're going to collect these, to get a book so you know what you're buying. And then this one is an inscribed F die, so you got D, E and F. All the coins are the same, the only difference is that little die mark. But once you get into these coins, well, I find it impossible, as you can see, not to try and buy all of them. And then it goes on to 1980, and you have an inscription on the 1980 coin, and you have the AA die mark, the AB die mark, and the AC die mark. And on these three, the writing is the correct way up in relation to the Queen's Head. On the next one, you've got the same three coins, but with the writing upside down in relation to the Queen's Head. So AA, AB, and AC. AC coin's quite an interesting one. There was only 20,000 of those minted, and they were for the New York Viking exhibition back in 1980. Odin's Raven it was called, and it celebrated the Viking ship travelling over the Atlantic. So those are slightly harder coins to come by. This whole collection, I couldn't even put a value on it on the top of my head, but it's certainly not cheap, and that's only tray 1. So if we move on, we have tray 2, and it starts off in the top there with a silver proof coin. And then in 1980 the design changed again, so a different style of long ship, but in continuing with the Popjoy theme, they all have a little die mark on them. That one is AA, and then the one beside it will be AB, and then you have the diamond proof finish, which is normally a DD die mark. If I pop that back down and zoom in on it, you'll be able to make out the DD die mark. And then you have a second variation of the DD die mark. So in that one, the two Ds are sort of ones upwards compared to the one beside it. So I'll zoom in and explain that better. So you see the D beside the 5, and then the D next to the D is raised up at an angle. The other variation is where the two Ds are pretty close together. Right, we'll not dwell on that too much because it'll probably bore you to death. This is one that I bought quite recently, just in the last couple of days, and this is a silver proof 1980 coin. Doesn't have a die mark on it, and it's in absolutely magnificent condition. Absolutely splendid looking coin that's 42 years old. Not a problem with toning whatsoever. And so the collection goes on. You've got 1981 silver, 1982, which has a little privy mark on it, which is called a baby crib, which celebrated Prince William's birth. 3 different versions of that: a standard version, a proof version, and a silver proof version. And these 3 are, well, between 150 and 200 pounds each, so quite expensive to do. And then we're on to 1983, all the different variations as well. We've got a couple of these that are still missing. And then we get on to 1984, and they changed the design again, so you've now got a Viking ship within a shield. And again, if I zoom in on these, we've got the little die marks on these coins just under the 50. So you're looking for AA or AB, or you're possibly looking for one without a die mark. In fact, in 1984 there was 4 different versions of the AA die mark, so I won't go into that in detail, but it's basically 4 coins exactly the same, and the only thing you're looking for a slight difference in is those 2 little A's. So that certainly makes it interesting if you're trying to find them on eBay. You got the diamond proof finish, but it actually has an AA die mark on it rather than a DD die mark, so a little bit there to confuse. And then it goes on, 1984 proof coin with no die mark, and this is the rarest Isle of Man 50p, the 1984 silver with no die, because it has an edge inscription on it. Only 150 of those coins were minted, so I've never even seen one for sale. And then we go on, and the collection keeps going with these, all the same design. But you see on this one, for instance, the little die mark is underneath the shield rather than being underneath the 50. So it keeps you really, really busy looking for these. This is what they call a proof flag coin. So you can see inside the shield, it's a slightly different colour to the outside of the shield. So you got those to collect as well. This one is a rare one. It's a no die mark coin from 1984. And then 1985 silver, and then we're on to 1986, and again a couple of different variations of the die mark on 1986. And then the final tray in this series only has 3 coins in it, so I believe that's a 1986 as well. Oh, doesn't want to come out. There we go. So that's a 1986 die mark AB, and it has a proof flag finish on it. So the colour inside the shield is slightly different to the colour outside. And then the final year where they had the Viking ships was 1987. And if we zoom in on this, there was two different die marks available, both AA, but slightly different. One, you see this A is up slightly higher on the design than this A, which is slightly lower down. So makes it really fun when you're trying to collect these to get all the different die marks. And then 1987, a diamond finish Viking ship coin finishes off that run of coins. So it's a hell of a run to do. You've got literally, oh well, two trays to do, plus a couple of odds and sods. So great fun doing those. Can't go on holiday this year because I've bought all those Isle of Man coins. So we've got the Viking ships done. We've got the Isle of Man Christmas 50p's done. Let's have a look at the next tray and see what we've got. So we're staying with the Isle of Man, and this series starts off in 2000. And these are some of the nicest designs of coins. These are the Christianity and Man 50p's. And there's two different ones for 2000, because here you have a little PMM. I don't know if you can see that. It's where's my finger? It's just about there, the PMM. We're struggling with this. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the PMM die mark on this coin here, but there's two different versions of that for 2000. So you got version 1, version 2, and then we have 2002, 2003, and 2004. And well, with these coins you could pay 15, 25, 30 pounds per coin. Just depends how deep your pockets are. And then we go on to what is a very interesting run of coins, but very boring at the same time. This is the Milner Tower series of 50p's from the Isle of Man. So this started off in 2004, and this particular coin would be around 40 to 50 pounds. That's the key date in this series. And then we've got 2005, and it goes all the way through. And again, with these coins, if you look down, you've got AB on that coin, so you've got different die marks to collect as well. And in 2014, 2015, Popjoy went a little bit mad, and I think there was like 6 different versions of die mark for 2014. So certainly keep you busy if you're going to collect these. Diamond Jubilee coin from 2012. You'll see the little AA die mark on that coin just to the right of the 0 and 50. And that's the same coin but without the die mark. And I haven't got that in the collection yet because it's a really hard one to find. And then we're on to, this must be 2013. Yeah. Oh. And again, the collection goes on in 2013, 2014. So that is an AA die mark coin. And this is where this series gets interesting, because you have AA, AB, BA, BB, AA, AB or AC, BA. This is under the next year as well. So the Milner's Tower, brilliant series of coins to do, collecting all these different die marks. That, believe it or not, is a BB, and some of the die marks can be quite sort of squidgy looking, which makes it even harder to work out what they are. That's a BC. That's a DA. So you can imagine looking at eBay and trying to work out what the die marks are with the dodgy pictures that people put up on eBay when they're selling these. Once we finish with the Milner's series of coins, we then go on to the Lockton Ram, which is a really, really nice design of 50p. And there's no die marks on these coins, so basically just one of each. There's the House of Keys coin, which is next. And if we continue on with that series of coins, bear with me 1 second, we'll just get the correct tray. I think that's the next tray here. So up in this corner, this new tray here is the most current ones, and this was a set of coins that celebrated the platinum wedding anniversary. There were 7 coins in this set, and it got every one of those, the full set there. That's number 7 there. And then we've got another one of the Lockton Ram coins. We've got 1914 to 1918, that's the World War One poppy 50p. Another one of the Lockton Ram coins. So if we pop this one up, nice coin as well. The design on these is really, really nice. 2019, that coin. And then we've got a set of cricket 50p's, which was a 5 coin set. And then we've got another Lockton Ram. Another Lockton Ram here, so 2018, 2019, 2020, 21. And then we got the most recent set, which was 6 different coins, I think, and each one of them has a different portrait of Her Majesty on them. So a really nice set of coins. And then that's where the next releases will go. And down in the corner of this tray we have a couple more of the Lockton Ram coins, but these ones are gold plated. Sometimes I just can't help myself when it comes to these gold plated coins, especially if it's a design that I like. So yeah, I've got 2 of those, 2017, and what was the other one? 2017 as well. So that's the Isle of Man series of coins. Let's have a look and see what is next. So something a little bit different now, and this set of coins, or this tray of coins I should say, is my Gibraltar date run of 50p's, and this starts off in 1997, and again they have a little die mark on them, and I recently noticed that the die marks were different for 1997, so I decided to try and find as many of those die marks as I could. But there's a couple of expensive coins in this collection as well. The 1998 one I just haven't been able to come across yet. 1999, 2000, 2001 Aaa Coin, which seems to be quite elusive as well. And so it continues on. We've got all of these, and I've actually got to go back now and get the older size, the large size 50p coin with the dolphins on it as well. So I think I'll have to buy a couple more red trays, because I have run out of trays, but just to keep the collection going and try to get as many as possible. And then the Dolphin series of 50p finishes, and we go on to the Battle of Trafalgar stroke capture of Trafalgar 50p coins. We have a date run of those which goes up through the years as well. So that's 2007. And there's a couple of these that are key dates as well, which are quite expensive to get. So if you think the UK 50p's are an expensive run of coins to do, try doing the Isle of Man or Gibraltar 50p's. They will leave a much bigger dent in your wallet, I guarantee you that. And the collection continues on, all the same designs, and again my bugbear, all these coins turning around of their own accord, until we get to this coin here, which I think is 2014. Yep, and this is the Barbary ape, which is the monkeys that you see on the Rock of Gibraltar, and they're the ones that will come and steal your food and rip your car to bits as well. They're pretty tame, but not to be trifled with. So you got 1, 2, 3 different coins, or should be 4 different coins, is it? Only 3 in that run. And then you got the referendum, anniversary of the referendum, nice 50p there. And again, this one being a Pubjoy coin has a little AA die mark on it just above the F and T and 50, and then the next coin just down from that has a slightly different die mark. It's a diamond finish coin, so you can just see that's a BA die mark on that coin as well. So that's the real fun of collecting these Popjoy mint coins, whether they're the Isle of Man or Gibraltar. They got all these different die marks on them. Makes it great fun to collect. That is a 50p that shows the skywalk in Gibraltar, and then you have the 50p which shows the I think there were some sort of a games that they held in Gibraltar, but it was sailing. Then you have the COVID-19 pandemic 50p, the Catherine and William anniversary 50p, quite a nice design on that. And then we finish off this tray with 95 years of Her Majesty, nice coin as well. So that's the Gibraltar date run of coins. And what are we on to now? Let's go back to the Isle of Man for this next lot. This next lot is the Isle of Man TT 50p coins. So we start off up in the top with a coin that was released back in 1981, and this one has an error on it where instead of saying racing on the fairing of the back, it says Ra Racing. So that was corrected. That has an AA die mark. This is the same coin but with an AB die mark and the same error on it. And then they put the error right, so it just says racing, and that has an AB die mark on it. There was no AA one. This one is a BB die mark, so that's the diamond finish coin for that year. And then we're on to 1982, and again they all have little die marks on them. This one is just over to the right hand side of the coin there, AA die mark on that. That's the diamond finish one, so that's a BB die mark. And this series is just known as the TT races. They haven't released them every single year. They stopped, I think, in 1984, and then they resumed again quite a few years later. So quite a big old space in the collection where they didn't make these coins. There we go, we've got 1983. This is one of the hardest coins to come by in the collection. This is a 1983 coin, same as this one, but where that has an AB die mark, this has the AC die mark. Super rare, really hard to find. And then we go on, and you'll notice the coins are all very similar. For instance, this one here has the BB die mark on it. There it is, just up in the corner here. And then there's a second BB die mark, so it's just slightly different to the first one. And then we have 1984 and the 1984 BB, which is the diamond finish coin. Still have to get that for the collection. Oh, then we go on to the next series of coins, which start in 1988. And these again are the large size 50p's, and these are just known as the Ellen Vannon computer 50p's. So we got 1988. Then we've got 1989, 1990, so this one has a little die mark under the 50, which is AA, and then there's a second variation on that die mark as well for 1990. Then we get into the slightly more expensive coins in this series, the 1991 AA, 1991 AB, 1992 AA, 1993, 1994. Now the first three, the 88, the 89 and the 90, they're between 10 and 20 pounds each. The 91, 92, 93, 94, between 100 and 150 pounds each. The 1995, if you can find one, is probably 200 to 250 pounds. And this little one in here is the legislative building Centenary 50p, and it has an AA die mark on it, and this one you would pay between 80 and 100 pounds. It's only 2,500 of those minted, so these coins mintage wise are on a completely different scale to the UK coins. So that's the first tray of the TT coins, and then if we go on to the second tray of the TT coins, we get up to 1996, so literally from 1984, 1985 they didn't make any, up to 1995, and then in 1996 decided to start doing them again. So this is a large coin, and the 1997 coin beside it is a large coin. Value wise, £250, £250. Then we're on to 1997, but the small version. And again, with this coin, it has the little die mark on it just under the driver's foot. And believe it or not, there's around 38 different varieties of die mark on that coin. So yep, you heard me say that correctly, around 38 different varieties. And here we have all of them. So every one of these coins, the die mark under the driver's foot is slightly different. They're all AA, there's no AB, nothing like that, just every one of them, the AA is slightly different from coin to coin. So it took a long time to get that collection to 38, 39 coins. There's 35 in that tray, and then there's another 3 here. So yeah, 38 coins just on the 1997 Isle of Man TT 50p coin. Now 1998 is the same design as 97, but there's a die mark there. So you have the AA, you have another 1998 AA, slightly different die mark, and another 1998 AA, slightly different die mark. So 3 different die marks on the 1998 coin, and you probably pay 40 to 50 pounds per each coin. Then you have the 1999 coin, so 3 different die mark versions on this. I have 1, I have 2, I'm missing the 3rd one, and that again is a 50, 60, 70 pound coin. 1999 Les Graham 50p, as we call that, little die marks here. There's a second version of that as well. These ones 30, 40, 50 pounds each. The 2004 Tourist Trophy 50p AA die mark, pay around 40 to 50 pounds for that. 80 to 90 pounds if you can get one which doesn't have the AA on it, a no die version as we call it. And then you have the 2007 with the AA die mark, and the 2007 same as that but without the AA. 70, 80, 90 pounds all day long for that coin. And then the 2007 coin, which is exactly the same as the 2004, that's probably a 50, 60 pound coin all day long. And then we go on to not strictly a TT coin, this is the Mark Cavendish cycling coin, probably a 30 to 40 pound coin. If you can find one without the die mark, you could double that. And then we're up to 2014, this coin, so there was no release in 2013, they missed that year, but you'll see this one has a little AA die mark on it. And again, if you can find one without the die mark, you can name your price. And then 2015, so in 2015 you'll see the little AA there, nice design of coin for that. And then you have the AB version, and I'm lucky enough in my collection to have the 2015 coin with no die mark, so that was a bit of an expensive one to get. And then down at the bottom we have 2016, so just the one back on that compared to the 2015 which had the 2 backs, and that one has a little AA die mark on it, and also available without the die mark, but again quite pricey. So if you've been watching this far, you've been very patient. Hopefully you've learnt a little bit about the Isle of Man Gibraltar 50p's and how long and how hard it is to get the date runs of these 50p's. So bear with me a second, we'll go over to the cabinet and we'll get back to the UK coins and we'll have a look at those. Okay, so we're back over to the cabinet again, and on this shelf we have all the strike your own 50p's. So I do have a couple of the FA Cup ones which I got quite recently, and at the back there we've got Wallace and Gromit, we've got the Brexit one, there's 2 different versions, the Strike and the Day one and the regular one. We've got the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Strike and the Day coins, so we've got 5 of those, and they all have the the Queen on horseback design on them, which is really, really nice. And then at the end you have the one that was available for, well, 6 weeks or so, and that was the standard one with the Jodie Clark portrait on it. We've got the 2 dinosaur coins. We've got the 50 years of decimalization. Again, I think there was a strike on the day one, and then there was a regular one as well for that. And we've got the, what one's that? The snowman one, I think that is it? Yeah, that was the snowman strike your own 50p. And then in front of that, a couple more strike your owns. And then my favourite coin, the Isaac Newton coin. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those Isaac Newton strike your owns, plus another 2 in cabinet 1. So we've got 10 of those. And then the Sherlock Holmes strike your own 50p. And then we've got some odds and sods as well. So we have the Guernsey or Jersey Freesia Flowers 50p. We have some of the extra Dolphin 50p's, some of the extra Isle of Man 50p's. These are all doubles of the Isle of Man 50p's. And then this little set of coins here, these are the, it's a bit hard to see in this light, let me take that off a minute. Oh, let's just get that into focus. So these are Gibraltar Christmas 50p's. Not playing game at all on the phone, and they're quite shiny. So this again, just like the Isle of Man set, these are expensive 50p's to get, but at the minute we must have 10 or 12 of those Gibraltar Christmas 50p's. Oh, and then we have some more of the Freesia Flowers 50p. I think the 2003 one in those is quite pricey. It was only in sets. And then, what's that set of coins there? Oh, that's more of the Jersey coins. That's the Jersey, the Grosvenor Castle series of coins. So that's that shelf. And then on the next shelf, we have the Peter Rabbit Silver Proof. At the back, just the same as we did with the other coins, we've got the Stephen Hawking, the Sherlock Holmes, 50 years of the 50p, the 50p that has the little privy mark on it. And then in the front of that we have the PA4 versions of those coins as well. And then we have the Gruffalo and Mouse 50p, which is really nice, the silver proof colour one. The Wallace and Gromit silver proof 50p, which is really, really nice as well. Another Snowman 50p. And then we have the Peter Rabbit, I think that was the 2020 Peter Rabbit one. And then on the shelf underneath, bear with me. Okay, so on the shelf underneath then we have the Peace, Prosperity and Friendship with All Nations 50p. We have the, I've closed the curtains, that's why it's gone dark. And then we have the Megalosaurus, which are the dinosaur 50p. So the regular silver proof ones at the front, and then the colour versions of those coins at the back. I do apologise, I think just because it's late afternoon, the way the sunlight comes around my house, it comes in this window and it's just blinded everything, pain in the backside. Got the Rosalind Franklin 50p there, and we have the regular silver proof, sorry, should have said that was the PA4 one. And then this one was, it's really hard to show these now in the light. So this one was the, what do you call them, the Pooh Bear. That was Christopher Robin dragging his teddy bear down the stairs. That was a set of 3, Pooh Bear, Piglet, Christopher Robin. Another Christmas 50p. And then the Diversity Built Britain 50p, silver proof and PA4 versions of that. And then on the final shelf here we have the John Logie Baird silver proof 50p, the Plesiosaurus colour 50p, and the most recent coin in the collection, which is the PA4 50 Years of Pride 50p. I'm still waiting on this regular silver proof, the bank and the colour bank version to come from the Royal Mint, so I wait in anticipation for those to arrive. And then little Acta Unite an extra bank pack in there, the 1997 proof set with the large and small 50p base metal proof, and then under that the bank version and the proof version of the military 50 years of the 50p set. And then on the final shelf we have these two big Royal Mint boxes, but I've noticed this is at 45 minutes, so I'll do that on a separate video. So that's it for cabinet 2. I hope you enjoyed that. Loads of 50p's. If you collect 50p's, hopefully I've given you something to think about in terms of all the different 50p's that you can collect from Isle of Man, Gibraltar, and all the rest of it. But that's cabinet 2, so thanks for watching, and bear with me, providing the sunlight doesn't burn my eyeballs out. I will try to do a video of cabinet 3, which is all the territories coins in bank and silver proof. That's it for now. Peace and love. Coin Snatcher out.